All right, let's just jump right in. When I say the word hormones, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it, teenage angst, mood swings? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the body's other command center, the endocrine system. And trust me, it is so much more than just puberty.
I mean, it's true, right? Hormones get blamed for pretty much everything, from crying during a sappy commercial to, I don't know, picking a fight over who finished the cereal. And look, while they might have something to do with it, blaming hormones for just that is like judging an entire movie based on the first 10 seconds. It's just a tiny, tiny piece of this incredible story.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Your hormones are the master regulators of your entire body. Think of them as chemical messengers. And they're running this constant, silent, but absolutely vital communication network that keeps you alive and keeps you balanced. Welcome to the world of the endocrine system.
So a good way to think about it is that your body has two bosses. First, you've got the nervous system. This is your high-speed internet connection, right? It's zapping these electrical messages directly where they need to go for super fast, immediate action. But then you've got the endocrine system. This is more like sending out a company-wide memo. It's a bit slower, it uses chemicals instead of electricity, and its effects are way more widespread and they last a lot longer.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. We are all hormonal, all the time. Seriously, from the moment you're born to your very last day. Right now, as you're listening to me, these chemical signals are fine-tuning your metabolism, managing your sleep cycle, controlling how you respond to stress. They are constantly working to maintain this delicate internal balance, a state we call homeostasis, which is, and this is not an exaggeration, the very foundation of being alive.
So, who's sending out all these chemical memos? Well, let's meet the management team, the endocrine glands. These are super specialized organs, and they're strategically placed all over your body. We're talking from your brain all the way down to your gut. Each one has a very specific job to do. So you ready? Let's take a quick tour.
Okay, starting right at the top, we have the brain crew. The hypothalamus, think of it as the CEO of the whole operation. It's constantly checking in on your body status, things like, are you hot? Are you hungry? Then, it gives orders to the pituitary gland, which is often called the master gland for a good reason. It directs the rest of the team. And also tucked away up there is the pineal gland. That's your body's internal clock, releasing melatonin to tell you, hey, it's time to go to sleep.
All right, let's move down into the neck and chest area. Here we find the thyroid, that little butterfly-shaped gland that's basically your body's furnace. It controls your metabolism. Tucked right behind it are the tiny parathyroid glands. Their job? Managing calcium, which is absolutely critical for your nerves and muscles. And we also have the thymus, which is a huge deal when you're young because it helps train up your immune system's T cells.
Next up, the abdominal crew. Perched like little hats right on top of your kidneys are the adrenal glands. You can think of these as your crisis managers. They're the ones pumping out adrenaline for that instant fight or flight response. And right nearby, we've got the pancreas. Its job is huge. It's the master of your blood sugar, making sure all your cells have the fuel they need, but also making sure they don't get overwhelmed.
And last but not least on our tour, we've got the reproductive crew, also known as the gonads. So that's the ovaries in females and the testes in males. Now these produce the hormones we usually think of when we hear the word hormones, estrogen and testosterone. And yeah, they're responsible for things like reproductive cycles and developing secondary sex characteristics.
Okay, really quick, but this is an important distinction. We're talking about endocrine glands here. Here's a super simple way to remember the difference. The N in endocrine is like enter. These glands release hormones that enter your bloodstream directly. They're ductless. Exocrine glands, on the other hand, X is like exit. They use little tubes or ducts to release stuff out of the body. Think sweat glands or saliva.
Okay, so we've met the glands, the post offices of the system, if you will, but what about the letters themselves? What exactly are hormones? And how in the world do they know which mailbox to deliver their message to? Well, it all comes down to chemistry. You've basically got two types. First, there are water-soluble hormones. Now, these guys can't get through a cell's fatty outer membrane, so what do? They act like a delivery person. They knock on the door, they bind to a receptor on the cell's surface, and pass the message along from there. But then you have lipid-soluble hormones, like steroids. These are like family. They've got a key. They can just walk right on in through the cell membrane and deliver their message to a receptor on the inside.
So, why all this elaborate messaging? What's the point? Well, it's all in service of one single, incredible goal: homeostasis. And this might be the single most important concept in all of biology. And guess what? Your endocrine system is the star player.
So what is homeostasis? Put simply, it's your body's ability to keep everything on an even keel, to keep things stable. Your temperature, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, all of it has to stay within this really, really narrow range for your cells to work properly. A great analogy is your house's thermostat. The endocrine system is constantly making these tiny adjustments to keep everything, just right.
Let's see this in action, okay? Imagine you eat a big slice of delicious pie. What happens? Your blood sugar skyrockets, right? Well, your pancreas detects this and immediately releases the hormone insulin. Insulin is like a key. It goes around and unlocks your body's cells, telling them, hey, pull all this extra sugar out of the blood for energy. And as the cells do that, the sugar level in your blood goes back down to normal. Once it's normal, the pancreas gets the signal to chill out and stop releasing so much insulin. That's what we call a negative feedback loop. The effect, lower blood sugar, cancels out the original problem, high blood sugar.
But what's really cool is that the pancreas has a tool for the exact opposite problem too. So let's say you skip the pie and your blood sugar gets too low. The pancreas just releases a different hormone called glucagon. And here's a great way to remember it. Glucagon tells your liver that the glucose is gone, and that signals the liver to release some of its stored sugar back into the blood. It's this amazing push and pull, this dynamic duo that keeps your energy levels stable.
I mean, this system is just so elegant and precise, and most of the time it works flawlessly. But what happens when this delicate balancing act gets thrown into total chaos?
To really, really get how powerful this system is, we need to see what happens when that balance is lost. So, let me tell you about a woman named Marie.
So Marie was this healthy, active person, and then things just started getting weird. At first, it actually seemed kind of great. She had limitless energy. But that quickly turned into anxiety. She couldn't sleep. She was losing weight like crazy, even though she was eating all the time. She was constantly hot, her heart was always racing, and then came the most unsettling symptom of all. Her eyes actually started to bulge.
So what was going on? The diagnosis was Graves' disease. It's an autoimmune disorder. Basically, her own body started creating these rogue antibodies that were tricking her thyroid. They were mimicking the go signal from the pituitary gland, just screaming at her thyroid to produce more and more and more hormone. Her thyroid's off switch was completely broken. It was just stuck in overdrive, throwing her entire body's balance, her homeostasis, into a total frenzy.
Marie's story is it's such a powerful reminder of how critical this whole system really is. It's not just about being a teenager or being pregnant. No, this is about the fundamental business of living, second by second.
So, I want you to remember this. Right now, at this very moment, inside of you, there is a silent symphony playing. It's this incredibly complex, coordinated orchestra of chemical signals, and it's managing your energy, your growth, your temperature, your mood, and it's doing it all without you ever having to think about it for a single second.
It's this incredible, unseen system working tirelessly just to keep you, well, you. And that really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secret processes, what other silent managers are hard at work keeping your body running perfectly right now?